Hello and welcome to the Croakey Health Media Update. I'm Ruth Armstrong and today I just want to highlight a couple of things that are up on the site right now. I'm speaking today from Wongal Land in Sydney, where I acknowledge and pay respects to the elders past and present and to all First Nations people who are watching this video and whose nations this video and Croakey's content is touching. Well, over the weekend we saw scenes of the Prime Minister in Arnhem Land at the Garma Festival. And he spoke there about his government's commitment to working with Indigenous communities for economic empowerment. But for at least some people present, this was overshadowed by other concerns. Independent MP Yinia Makayula echoed the concerns of many Indigenous leaders in urging the Northern Territory government to rethink its increasingly tough on crime rhetoric and policies. You can read more about the concerning plans for youth justice in the NT in an article up at Croakey by Melissa Sweet, including comments from a loud chorus of experts who warn that the new laws are a giant step backwards that will harm First Nations children and young people. And it's not just the Northern Territory. In another article, Queensland paediatrician Professor Nitkin Kapoor raises serious concerns about that state's broken system of child detention. Also released in the week before Garma was the Productivity Commission's report on the lacklustre progress we're making with the Closing the Gap agreement. Responses from the sector and suggested avenues for improvement are detailed in two separate articles up at Croakey. Another interesting read comes from the newly formed Falls Prevention Alliance of Australia, which makes the point that we know a lot about what works to reduce falls in older people, and we now need to implement the evidence. Speaking of it being time to take action, you might be interested in what's happening with the proposed scope of practice reforms. Mari McInerney has that covered in another article. And one more thing. Do you reckon you've got it in you to ride the full course of the Tour de France? Exercise physiologist Steve Faulkner gave it a go. You can check out his interesting insights in an article we've republished from The Conversation. You can read all these articles at the website www.croakey.org. Feel free to share via social media or email, and do subscribe to the weekly bulletin, because even as I speak, Croakey is being populated with more great content. Thanks for listening and see you next time.